It's time for the holidays. You know what that means: ugly sweaters, ugly hats, and the need to buy gifts for people that you love and care for. So today we're going to cover 5 games that are great for preschool aged kids and up. So we're talking 4 or 5 and onward through elementary school probably. Let's get to the list. Before we get into the games, I do want to mention that I will put links to these games on Amazon if they're available. I think most of them are down in the description, so check those out. And they are affiliate links, so using them will help the channel out. It'll help me purchase some new stuff for the channel, but that's all it does for you. It's just a link to the Amazon directly to the item, so you don't have to go searching for it. Just trying to make everyone's life a little bit easier, you know. Anyways, onto the games. The first game we're going to talk about is Race to the Treasure. In this game, you're attempting to race an ogre to his treasure. And to do that, you're going to be drawing cards out of a pile, and sometimes it's an ogre head, which is bad. You just line those up on the side of the board. Other times it's going to be a path. So then you get to choose where you want to play the path on the map. This is a co-op game, so you are working together, which is good when you're playing with younger kids, to try and get to the key wherever it is on the map, and then get to his treasure before he can. If the ogre heads get to the bottom before you're able to get the key and make your path lead down to the treasure, you lose. Otherwise, you can win. It's great because it teaches co-op. It teaches some deduction skills a little bit. They have to figure out, is it better to go down this way, or you don't want to run your path right into the edge of the wall because then you won't be able to get back. So it just starts some critical thinking skills, and it's great fun because you get to work together and hopefully defeat the ogre before he can defeat you. Next up, we're going to talk about Animal Upon Animal. Animal Upon Animal is a great dexterity building game that you're going to play with younger kids. They're really thick, chunky wooden pieces. So you got the big alligator as the base, and then there's the sheeps and monkeys and all this other stuff. And it's fun because the kids love the little animals and how they look. They like to play with them when it's not their turn. And then usually, for some reason, kids are good at stacking, better than adults are. They just don't have the fear of knocking everything over. So it's a really simple game too. You just roll a die, and it tells you how many you have to stack on your turn. You stack that many onto the pile, and then it's the next player's turn. So it's quick, it's easy to learn, it's easy to pick up. It's really fun for the kids because usually they'll beat the adults because they're better, again, at stacking than we are. And it's just a great family game, and it's good to play with younger kids because there's not a ton of rules, and you can just, they can roll the die, which they love to do, and then you just tell them, you need to place 2 pieces. They get to make the choice of which piece and start thinking about, is it better to put the snake now or save the snake for later, or should I put my big sheep now because there's lots of room? Just starting to figure out things like that and help them learn just, turns and games in general. So I highly recommend you check out Animal Upon Animal from HABA. Fantastic game. Alright, the next game we're going to talk about is Strike, with an exclamation point, Strike from Ravensburger. This is a dice game, very limited rule set. So essentially what you're going to do is everyone's starting with the same amount of dice on your turn, and then you have to throw at least 1 die into the arena on your turn, and then you can stop if you want. So it's a push your luck game. So you're going to throw 1 in, and if you get any matches with the dice that are currently in there, you get to take all those matches out. There is one side that has an X on it. If you land on the X, those dice get removed from the game. Otherwise, they're going to stay in the arena or bowl. And then you're going to keep going around, and you can throw, you have to throw at least 1, but you can throw multiples if you want into the bowl, and trying to get as many dice to match so you can get dice back into your supply. And you're going to just keep going around, so it's fast turns. It's good to play with kids because, again, you can kind of moderate for them. You watch them throw and you say, okay, no matches. Do you want to throw again, or do you want to pass your turn and save your dice for next turn? Or they throw and they do get a match. You say, okay, here's your dice. Your turn's over. And then it goes on the next person's turn. It's quick, it's easy, it's fun for adults to play as well. And really, this one is good for all ages. It's good that you can play it with younger kids as well, because then they get to be involved with the family, and it's fantastic. So I highly recommend you check out Strike from Ravensburger. The next game we're going to talk about is Echidna Shuffle. This game is probably the prettiest game out of all of them on this list. It is It has a real toy factor to it. It comes with all these like plastic echidnas, and they're big. They're like this big that you put out on the board, and then there's little bugs and logs. So the goal of the game is to move the echidnas around the board to pick up your bugs and then get them to your matching colored logs to drop them off. So you're trying to really just to get your bugs to the correct location. It's really cool though because it's essentially like a traffic management game. You have like the echidnas can only go certain ways on the board, and then they can't go past each other. So once there's a pile up, you have to like move all the other echidnas out of the way in front of it before you can move your echidna forward any spots. You're gonna roll a die, and you're gonna get so many moves that turn. But the cool part is that on your next turn, you get the opposite amount of moves. So if you get like 2 moves this turn, you'll get 7 next turn. So it balances out. Like you don't just, if you keep rolling 2s, you're not going to keep getting, you know, less moves than everyone else. So I love that because there is randomness to it, but everyone's going to get like the same amount of moves every turn still, or every other turn combined. So it's really smart how they did that, and it's a really fun game, and the kids loved it. I took this on our summer vacation with my niece, nephew, and my son, and the youngest was 4 or 3 at the time, just 4, and the oldest was 7, and everyone absolutely loved it. We played it I don't know how many times. It was a blast though, and it's really easy to pick up, and as long as you have one adult there kind of helping run the table to make sure that, you know, the echidnas are moving in the correct directions, and to kind of point out, you know, oh, you can turn right here, you can go straight, you just have to follow the arrows. The kids pick it up really quickly though, and they love the pieces and the bugs and everything. So highly recommend you check out Echidna Shuffle from Wattsalpoag Games. I hope I got that right. Anyways, on to our final game. Okay, the last game on this list is one that I recommend all the time to everyone. When someone asks me, do you know of a good game I can play with a younger kid? This is always the first game I bring up. It's not really holiday themed unless you're looking at Halloween, but it is fantastic because it is a cooperative game, so you get to work together. It'll help you teach counting, and then just help you think of like how to manage a board. So it is Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters. So your goal is to take 1 to 4 people, kids, into this haunted house and to rescue gems before it is overran by ghosts. So ghosts are going to be appearing in different rooms that all are lettered, so like A through J or something like that. I can't remember how many letters there are now in the game. And the gems are spread out throughout the house in different rooms. You can only take 1 gem at a time, so like one person can't go and try to take them all. So it gives a chance for everyone to participate and be one of the heroes. So essentially what you have to do is you have to get in, grab a gem, run it out of the house, and put it on the doorstep. Then you can run back in and grab another gem, etc. You're going to be rolling dice, so there's a little bit of luck to how the dice roll, but the board's pretty small, so if you roll a 1 or 2, you can still make decent progress across the board. And then you can have a chance to fight a ghost as well, which the kids will love, and it's just fantastic. I've probably played this. It's probably one of my top favorite cooperative games, period, including the like more complex one. It's so easy, it's so fun, and they actually released an expansion, I believe last year, called like the Creepy Cellar, and instead of taking the gems out of the house, you have to take the gems into the basement in a specific order, and that kind of that just adds a little bit more complexity to it. So as your kids grow or get older and want a little more challenge, you add in the Creepy Cellar, and then that's just going to add a ton more to it. So it's going to keep them going and keep the game fresh for everyone too. It's great with adults. Like I love playing this game, as I've kind of led to, and that's why it's my number 1. So I highly recommend you check out Ghost Fightin' Treasure Hunters from Mattel. It's fantastic. It's cooperative. It's cool little pieces, little ghosts, big ghosts, and it's just great all around. So highly recommend you check it out. But that's going to be it for our list today. I hope you enjoy this. I am going to put out another list for older kids, so like 7 and up, kind of kids in like 2nd grade and on. So they're going to be a little bit more complex, a little bit more rules, but I think it's going to be more interesting for them than some of these younger games are. Not that these are bad. These are I kind of picked these 5 because these games also transition and still work with older kids, just because they have a fun challenge besides being rule heavy or, you know, other things like that. So if you have any questions about any of these games, or need help finding something, please let me know in the comments below. I'll be watching them and I'll be answering everyone that drops a comment. Until next time though, I hope everyone has a safe and happy holiday season and a great new year. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.